Hey, what are you doing? Is he picking up those leaves? Or is he spreading them back on the lawn? There they go, those leaves are falling right back on the lawn from his basket. See? Do you see when he turns? There they go again. The leaves have been dropping heavily over the last few weeks and he wants them up before the rain comes. Does he see that those baskets are full? Oh my. Or is he doing it on purpose because he knows he's being filmed? Let me say, he knows how to deliver a good joke with a straight face, so I honestly couldn't tell you. If you watched the last video, you know what I mean. Remember the ladder sticking out of the upstairs bedroom with the boxes of toilet paper heaped on the end? That was him. He did it on purpose. And oh my gosh, his wife says he loves riding that 20-year-old lawnmower. When he got off, they both laughed and he said, "It's you, me, and the Troy-built forever, baby." You might think they're being silly, but this has to be reason number one why they love living rurally. They love killing it on the lawnmower. Sincerely, though, ever scratched your head and thought, why on earth would anyone want to live in the sticks? Think you can guess the other top reasons they picked? Nah, I'll bet you can't. Well, listen and tell me if they were obvious. And hope you'll stick around for the reason that completely warms my heart. But before we start, a little of their story. About 2 decades ago, they ditched their city slicker ways in Sacramento and became proud landlubbers on a ranchette in the middle of Northern California. Yep, they traded bumper-to-bumper traffic for open pastures and grass-stained shoes. And hey, this is their tractor-driving tale. So, save your keyboard warrior skills about California for another time, please. And if you're a city dweller, they're not throwing a fit if you think their decision to say adios to the city of trees was crazy. I mean, his wife grew up there. She'll always have a soft spot for the place. And before you say it, yes, they already know their property value isn't appreciating as much as your suburban starter castle. But they fell head over heels for their new country crib. Capiche? Okay. We'll try to have some fun with this. Let's tackle the elephant in the room. The second reason why folks like them are drawn to the countryside, and the one reason you'll know for sure: space and lots of it. Imagine a backyard so huge you could park a fleet of monster trucks, have room for your RV, and still throw a shindig for the whole neighborhood. You're not just buying a house, you're signing up for a life of blissful unboundedness. So why do they love country living? They got the elbow room they've always wanted. Okay, that one was probably obvious. Let's move on to number 3. For this next one, you may be surprised, or maybe not. Because before you think they are all about the tranquility, let me remind you of the other side of the coin. They're not just about the peace and quiet out there in the boonies, oh no. They enjoy the freedom to live loud. They love to crank up the music and dance like no one's watching. And enjoy cinematic movies on the back deck played at full volume, or splashing and playing games, throwing each other in the pool. Out there, they don't have to worry. When someone is setting the grill on fire, they don't have to use that disturbing whisper voice to keep the neighbors from being alerted over the fence. Nah, it's an unfiltered reaction. I'm sure you can imagine. It's loud, but loud or not, out there, it's their life, their rules. And isn't that the ultimate freedom, to be yourself unabashedly without the constant scrutiny of city life? So they lace up their dancing shoes or holler when it's supper time, because in the country they love living loud. Their fourth reason, and another obvious one I'll bet, they love having Mother Nature as their next-door neighbor. They wake up to picturesque panoramas with the rising sun and the occasional clouds. And then there's the trees. Wow, the oak trees, some of them hundreds of years old. From their back deck, there is one old oak they love looking at every day. It's true. They spend at least a half an hour in the morning drinking coffee, looking at that tree, or at the wildflowers when they are in season, or listening to the birds that make the property their home. Many days they are visited by deer, wild turkeys, squirrels, birds of course, and the occasional raccoon. 2 times a year they get to watch and listen to the flocks of Canadian geese that pass over and stop at their pond for a rest while on their journey south or north. And at the end of the day, sunsets. Vivid painted skies that fall into darkness with almost no light pollution. They can see the stars, and not just a few twinkling bright ones, but the whole universe of stars. It's the magic of rural sprawl, the charm they experience every day. Their fifth reason for cherishing rural living, the purity of well water. They turn on their faucet, and there's no harsh smell of chlorine, but instead the refreshing scent of clean, pure water with plenty of minerals. And let's not forget the sensation of sipping ice-cold water right from the depths of the earth, a refreshing treat on a hot summer day. It's pure, it's invigorating, and these days one of the best parts is it's free of expensive city metering. Yeah, they think having a well to supply their water is the way to go. The sixth reason, they love the freedom of raising their own livestock. With all the space, they have the opportunity to nurture chickens, cows, horses, goats, alpacas, or even donkeys. They have the control to ensure they're raised free from antibiotics or any unusual feed. It can really make you appreciate a morning omelet or a juicy steak even more. Plus, there's something uniquely satisfying about the clucking of chickens and the mooing of cows. There's nothing better than knowing exactly where your food comes from. On to the seventh reason. Their neighbors live up the road, not on the other side of a fence. Or in other words, far enough to not hear singing in the shower. Some city dwellers may find this unusual, but for those living in rural areas, it's quite the norm. It's comparable to having your cake and eating it too. Proximity allows for mutual assistance, like the time their neighbor pulled their truck out of the mud, or even as simple as borrowing a cup of sugar when needed. Yet the distance also affords a degree of privacy that's hard to come by in congested areas. It's the perfect balance of community and solitude, and the perfect distance to avoid awkward encounters when they're hanging around outside in their pajamas. Their eighth reason, they love the freedom to do maintenance or building projects on their own terms. They can make a suitable work area, spread out the tools, and handle everything themselves. Picture them working on a fencing project on a bright, sunny afternoon, or fabricating an exceptional piece of furniture from the ground up. Have you ever thought about constructing your own outbuildings? It's a liberating thought, isn't it? Just a workshop full of tools and the open air. Next, their ninth reason, they love the joy of growing their own organic vegetables and fruits. Think about it, sinking your teeth into a ripe tomato that you've nurtured from seed to harvest, or plucking a crisp peach from your own tree free of pesticides and bursting with nutrients. Plus, there's a certain satisfaction in knowing you've cultivated your meal from scratch. And finally, their 10th reason, the one that warms my heart completely, they love the freedom their pets have. Their pets are free for roaming, exploring, chasing, living their best lives without the confines of a small apartment or the restrictions of a leash. They're let out the back door of the house to stretch their legs, chase after squirrels, or simply bask in the sun unhindered. Their dogs follow them while doing chores, and the space gives their canine pets a chance to practice homestead protection skills when strangers show up to the property. The cats wander and keep pesky moles from digging up the grass, or better, they discourage snakes from coming close to the structures. This liberty to serve a useful purpose in the family not only enhances their physical health, but their mental well-being too. After all, they say happy pets make for happy homes. Their pets love the rural life as much as they do. Okay, that's it for this one. If you are enjoying our hometown stories, we hope you will take a moment to like and subscribe. We'll be back with more of our stories soon. Thanks for watching.